Torah time! The weekly portion. What's it all about? It really means something. What can it teach me? Turn it. Everything's in it. Hi, welcome to Torah time. I'm Rabbi Stephanie Shore. This week's portion is from the book of Genesis, and it's called Vayechi. Now, Vayechi starts with Jacob getting older, and he is about to die. And he calls his son Joseph, and Joseph brings his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. And typically, as a grandfather would bless his grandsons, he would place his right hand on the eldest son and his left hand on the younger son. Well, this time, Jacob did something different. He put his right hand on Ephraim and his left hand on Manasseh. He did it opposite. And he said to Joseph, yes, Manasseh will be a great man, but Ephraim will be greater. Now, that's a very interesting twist that happens in the story. But what I'd like to mention too is that as Jacob gets older, he brings his sons to him and he blesses all of his sons. And he points out the qualities of every son as he goes. He asks his son, Joseph, to promise him that when he dies, Joseph will take his remains and bring them back to the land of his forefathers, to the cave of Machpelah, where his other ancestors are buried. Joseph promises Jacob that he will bring him and bury him there. And when Jacob dies, Joseph goes to Pharaoh and asks Pharaoh, may I go to bury my father? And Pharaoh grants him the ability to go and bury his father. And with Joseph goes a whole bunch of people from Egypt, because Jacob had lived in Egypt for 17 years. And he had established himself there as Joseph and his other brothers as well. Now, after Jacob blesses all of his sons, Jacob closes his eyes and he dies. And then we begin to hear about how Joseph ages. And he gets older and older, but he is able to see his grandchildren and his great-grandchildren. And Joseph dies at 111 years old. Now, it's really hard to take these numbers literally when we read them in the Torah, because we're not sure of the measurement of time as it relates to the measurement of time we use today. But let's suffice it to say that Joseph lived a long time, and so did Jacob. And that's what the Torah is trying to express to us. Now, something very interesting happens at the end of this portion, because it's the last portion in the book of Genesis. When we finish reading a book of the Torah, we say, Chazak, Chazak, v'nitchazek. And that means, be strong, and we will be strong. Why do we say that? Why do we make it a point to ask for strength when we're finished reading a book of Torah? Well, one reason could be that it is always wonderful to study Torah, and it makes us stronger when we do so. It makes us stronger intellectually and emotionally, and of course, spiritually. So we want to be strong from reading Torah, and we want to be strong in the future from our studies. We also want to make sure that when we're finished reading a book of Torah, we are encouraged and engaged to continue on. Have you ever finished reading a book, let's say for school or something like that, and you say, oh gosh, that book took me a long time to read. I'm going to take a break from reading for a little bit. Now, some of us might relate to that. Some of us might start the next book right away. But when we're reading Torah, we always want to be anxious to start the next book, to continue learning, to continue growing, to continue to study the text that has held our people together for so many generations. So we finish the book of Vayechi and we say, Chazak, Chazak, v'nitchazek. Be strong, and we will be strong. Well, that's our Torah time for today. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye. Torah time, the weekly portion. What's it all about? It really means something. What can it teach me? Turn it, everything's in it.